Good morning, and welcome to All People's Church, Unitarian Universalist. My name is Michael Zepeda, and I will be your co-celebrant this morning. Our celebrant here is Julie Hevelone, and if you have been here before, one time or many, you are welcome here. All People's Church is more than a place to gather on Sundays. It is a community, a spiritual home where you may develop and deepen your gifts. We gather to feed our minds and souls so that we may each become blessings to our families, to our friends, and to the larger world around us. We especially welcome our visitors today. If this is your first visit, please do sign in at the visitors table by the front door. Signing in will give us the opportunity to acknowledge your visit and place you on our mailing list to receive the weekly email and the monthly newsletter. Before we continue with our service, please note these reminders and announcements. First, I have, this is Don't Forget to Feed Me Sunday, second Sunday of the month. Joe, who normally leads this effort, is down at Scarborough Fair being creatively anachronistic. So we have put the envelope on the table outside in the foyer if you would like to contribute to Don't Forget to Feed Me. I do have a message from Dan Segale over at the Spectrum Chamber Music Society. Dan? Yeah, please come on up.
Hi, good morning, and happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. My name is Dan Seigel. I am the Executive Director of Spectrum Chamber Music Society. We have been performing here at All People's for almost 40 years. Next season is our 40th season. This is our home base. We love performing here. We do perform in other places. There's a message going there. I could have been reading that. I never looked. Anyway, we are having our end of year concert. It's a big fundraiser event tomorrow night, Monday, May 12th I'll read this. I can read that. We're holding our final concert of the season tomorrow at Arbor Lawn Methodist Church at 7:00 p.m. Maestro Miguel Harth-Bedoya will be conducting Mahler's Fourth Symphony in a chamber arrangement. And because this is a fundraising effort for Spectrum, we realized that tickets have been priced a little harder than some people could afford. And to make this special concert available to more people, a generous donor is offering free vouchers to those who request one in person today. A voucher can be obtained from Colleen Brewer after the service. There she is. I just wanted to say real quick, I was at the first rehearsal the other day. This is something that you don't want to miss. This is amazing music. It's a beautiful arrangement. It's such stunning music. If you've never heard Mahler before, it's epic. It's big, but it's also small because it's in a smaller group. So we would love to see you there. Excuse me, we would love to see you there. So if you want to pick up a voucher today, that would be fantastic, and enjoy your Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. In other entertainment and music news, our next Freedom Cafe here at the church is Saturday, May 31st, featuring singer-guitarist Mark Christian from Stillwater, Oklahoma. He is a preacher that has been a guest in our pulpit many times. This is a family-friendly event with coffee and soda. Doors open at 7, music at 7:30. It is a free will donation. Give what you can, and it will be gratefully accepted. The proceeds will benefit the missions of our church. And now, please settle comfortably for our musical prelude. Misha.
Good morning. I'm Julie Hevelone, and for those who I have not met yet, I'm a member of this congregation. And our opening words this morning: we have come from all the places of our separate lives to this hour, from love and grief, hope and worry, solitude and activity. We come to give thanks, to feel wonder, and to seek renewal. We have been apart. Let us now come together again.
Your spirit for the chalice lighting, the opening hymn, and our spoken affirmation. Our chalice lighting words this morning are from our minister emerita, Marjorie Montgomery. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift. Please now join in singing our opening hymn, number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth. For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love fresh from our birth, over and around us lies. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of ear and eye, for the heart and mind. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with creation. Thus do we covenant with one another. The young and the young at heart are now invited to come forward here at the front of the chancel for the time for all ages, which is being delivered by me. Yay! Good morning.
Not just me. Everyone else.
I see the crowd. Pull up a chair and have a seat. Our story today is called A Lamp in Every Corner, and it's our Unitarian Universalist storybook. It's a story written by Janine Kroesmeyer. Many years ago, in the land of Transylvania, in a mountain valley watered by quick rushing streams and shadowed by great forests of beech trees, there was a village of small wooden houses with dark shingled roofs, and the people in the village were of the Unitarian religion, and they wanted a church of their own, a church set on the hillside, they decided, that would look down on the village as a mother looks down on her sleeping child. So all the people of the village labored long and hard to build themselves a church. The stonemasons hammered sharp chisels to cut great blocks of gray stone and then set the stones into stout and sturdy walls. The glaziers made tiny glass panes and fitted them neatly into the windows with leaded lines. The foresters sawed tall beech trees into enormous beams and laid the trusses for the ceiling, and then covered the roof with close-fitting wooden shingles that wouldn't leak a drop of rain. The carpenters carved wood for the pair of wide-opening doors, setting them on strong pegs so that the doors hung straight and square. A bell was brought in from faraway city and then hoisted by ropes with a heave and a hoe to the very top of the tower. The weavers wove fine cloths for the altar table, cloths embroidered with flowers and edged in lace. The smiths hammered black iron into tall lampstands and hammered thin bronze into shiny oil lamps. And finally, when the building of the church was done, the painting of the church could begin. And the painters mixed bright colors, royal red and shimmering gold and brilliant blue, and everyone in the village, old and young, women and men, boys and girls, came to decorate the church. And they painted flowers, and they painted trees, and they painted designs around all the windows, and different designs around all the doors. And at the end of the day, when it was finished, when their church was finally done, all the people of the village stood back to admire it, and then to sing a song of their happiness and praise. Their village had a church now, a church set on the hillside that looked down upon the village as a mother looks down on her sleeping child. "We will eat now," announced an elder of the village, because everyone was hungry after their long day's work. "And later tonight, we will come back to pray." So the people of the village went down the hillside to their homes and their suppers, all except one little girl named Zora and her father, who stayed behind. They had brought their own bread and cheese. They ate their food slowly, sitting on the grass on the hillside and admiring their new church with its strong stone walls and its tall tower and its magnificent bell. And after they had eaten, they went back inside, opening those carved is. But Father, she said suddenly, we have not finished. What do you mean, he said. Zora said, there are tall iron lampstands all along the walls, but there are no lamps. The church will be dark when the people come back. Ah, no, little one, said her father. The light of the church comes from its people. You shall see. So he rang the bell in the tall tower and called everyone to worship. And then he took his daughter by the hand and led her back outside. And they waited on the hillside next to their beautiful church of strong gray stone. The sun had set behind the mountains and the night was coming soon. Yet in the growing darkness, tiny points of light came from many directions and moved steadily up the hill. Each family is entrusted with a lamp, little one, said her father. Each family lights its own way here. Well, where is our family's lamp? Said Zora. And his father replied, your mother is carrying it, and she will be here soon. The many lights moved closer together, gathering into one moving stream, all headed the same way, growing larger and brighter all the time. And Zora's mother arrived, bearing the burning oil lamp in her hands. And the father lifted Zora so she could set their family's lamp high in its tall iron stand. And all around the church, the other families were doing the same thing. And soon the church was ablaze with light in every corner, for all the people of the village had gathered to pray and to sing. And all through the worship service, Zora watched the lights flicker and glow. She watched her family's lamp most of all. And when the service was over, her father lifted her up high, and she took the shiny bronze lamp from the lampstand. Its curved sides were warm and smooth in her hands. Her mother carried the lamp home with the flame lighting the way. The lamp flame lit their house when they returned home. Zora washed her face and got ready for bed by the light of that flame. Mother, Zora began as she climbed into bed and lay down. Yes, little one, her mother asked, tucking the red wool blanket around her shoulders. Father said the light of the church comes from its people. Yes, but also the people take their light from the church. And over on the table by the fireplace, the shiny bronze lamp was still burning. And we have that light every day. Yes, indeed, said her mother. And even when we're not in church, even when the lamp is not lit, we carry the light of truth in our minds. We carry the flame of love in our hearts to show us the right way to be. That light, the light from truth and love, will never go out. Never, asked Zora. Never, said her mother. And this bronze lamp will last for many, many years. When you are grown, we will give the bronze lamp to you. And when your children are grown, you will give the lamp to them. And all of you will carry it back and forth to church every time. But there's only one lamp, Zora said. So make another, said her mother, and let the light grow. And someday, tell your children to make more lamps too. And now, good night, her mother said, and kissed Zora once on the cheek, and once on that cheek, and once on the forehead. And she closed her eyes and drifted into dreams while her mother looked down upon her sleeping child. Well, the years passed, and Zora grew, and the bronze lamp came into her care, and she kept it polished and clean. And when the bell rang out across the valley to call the people to worship, she carried the lamp back and forth to the church on the hillside, the flame always lighting her way. And when the time came, she made more lamps and gave them to her children, who made more lamps and gave them to their children. And so it went on through the years until even today. And always the light of truth and the flame of love from that Unitarian church on the hillside continued to grow and show them and us the way. So please sing the children out. Back to class you go. The candy balls on top of that mailbox. As we leave to every face, light our hearts till we return. Our offertory words this morning are from Brandon Lovely. Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. It is our custom to share the undesignated cash offerings that are collected each week. We do this on a quarterly basis for a nonprofit or charitable organization that shares our values. Our Share the Plate recipient for the second quarter of 2025 is The Underground, sponsored by Unbound Now. They assist the victims of human trafficking. If you prefer, donations can be made using the QR code that's printed on the back of the order of service. The gifts of the congregation will be most gratefully received. Will the ushers please come forward? Thank you, Misha. Please rise as you are willing and able to sing hymn 404, What Gift Can We Bring? Misha is going to play it through once first.
As a religious community, we covenant to share both our joys and our sorrows. It is our intention to be present to one another, including times of challenge and in times of joy. Each week, there's a journal outside the entrance to the sanctuary where you can write a message of memory or hope before the service. We honor these messages by lighting 3 candles here on the chancel. Also, at any time during our service, you are welcome to come forward and light a candle in our meditation center, which is off to the side here. In our book of memory and hope this morning, we have a joyful note from the Hancock family. Nicholas Hancock, son of Roz Hunter and Terry Hancock, graduated from UTA this Friday with a Bachelor of Science in Math. So, congratulations. May the warmth of this community extend to all who are rejoicing or hurting in our wider world. Let us pause now for a moment of silent meditation, and then Misha will play us some meditatory words, music. I just made that word up. Thank you. This morning's sermon comes to us from Soul Matters, which is a project of the Unitarian Universalist Association that provides a lot of resources that we use in worship. Our theme for the month of May is Living Love Through the Practice of Imagination. This sermon was written by Reverend Dr. Sandra Fees and is used with her permission. Christopher Wren was an English scientist and mathematician. He was also a distinguished architect. He is best known for designing 51 churches, including the rebuilding of St. Paul's Cathedral after the Great Fire of 1661 leveled London. There's a story about Wren that came from the rebuilding of St. Paul's. The story has been passed along as a parable and has taken on some various forms, so you may have heard it before. One morning, walking to work, Wren saw some scaffolding and stopped to ask 3 individuals what they were doing. When he asked the first worker, he said, "What are you doing?" The worker replied, "I'm laying bricks." He asked the second worker, "What are you doing?" and got a different answer. This worker said, "I'm putting up a wall." He asked the third worker, "What are you doing?" And he said, with a gleam in his eye, "I'm building a cathedral to God." How would you answer the question, "What are you doing?" What are you doing as a member or friend of this church? What are you doing in terms of your home life or your work life? Are you laying bricks, putting up walls, or building a cathedral? The three workers who Ren spoke to were all doing the same job. The difference among them was a difference of perspective. Their answers reflect the difference between, on one hand, being focused on a task without a sense of a larger goal, and on the other, being able to imagine a larger vision for one's action. In some ways, the story reflects the difference between being mired in the mundane and inspired by the sublime. To hold out that larger vision requires exercising imagination. It means seeing what's not yet there and may never be. And having a vision is sometimes described as the intentional practice of imagination. Bringing the practice of imagination to what we do can motivate and inspire us, especially when we're feeling otherwise discouraged or bored or challenged or beleaguered. Imagination can lift our eyes from the mundane. The intentional practice of imagination is also needed for us to grow spiritually. We need to be able to hold on to an image of what that does not yet exist. Bill Whitson, a retired minister from the Church of Scotland and a religious studies teacher, says, "Religion lives on imagination. At its best, religion operates precisely through the exercise of imagination." However, creeds, dogma, and anything that seeks to curb this freedom is anathema to the true religious spirit and to the exercise of imagination. James Mackey, a Presbyterian minister, describes this another way. He says that imagination must captivate the heart. Imagination in its artistry seeks to enchant rather than to coerce, to haunt rather than to conclude, to tug at the heart rather than beat about the head. When exploring imagination in religion, another spiritual teacher, the Franciscan spiritual writer Richard Rohr, refers to the imaginarium. Isn't that a great word, imaginarium? An imaginarium is a place devoted to the imagination. A house of worship can be one of those places. Our Unitarian Universalist community is one of those places. A person's very being is one of those places. Each of us has our own imaginarium. We each have what Rohr describes as an unconscious worldview, constructed by both our individual and group experiences, symbols, archetypes, and memories. And Jews, Muslims, Hindus, Catholics, Protestants all live in quite different imaginariums. If your inner imaginarium is rich, intelligent, and not overly defended, you will never stop growing spiritually. Father Rohr's advice: read more poetry and literature, watch movies, listen to music, visit museums. The artist is a prophet, someone who helps us to be self-critical and creative so we don't stay stuck in our status quo. The prophet models and embodies a new way of thinking and being that allows us to imagine a larger, more inclusive way to live. Because you can't begin to imagine something if you don't first have an image of it. So in order to learn something radically new, we first need to imagine it. Religious community is an imaginarium. It is a place where we model and embody a new way of thinking and being. This imagination of ours helps us dream up new ideas and shift our attitudes. It leads us to imagine worlds, beings, and possibilities that don't physically exist yet, or maybe never. It leads people to reflect on what happens after they die and to imagine various ideas of the afterlife. It leads to various understandings of the source of life and imagine how we humans came to be and what meaning to ascribe to our living. One of the things imagination enables us to do is to aspire to idealized values. Values such as compassion, liberation, and empowerment that we associate with religion. Unitarian Universalism imagines a more inclusive, a more just, a more interconnected way to live. Our values guide us towards transforming ourselves and others as we strive for that goal of beloved community. Describing what Unitarian Universalist is doing as building the cathedral is another way to say we are in the business of building that beloved community that we dream of. There are a lot of details and tasks that are involved in building a more compassionate and more empowering way of life. Taking care of our physical spaces, our church building, our cathedral, so to speak, is one of them, and it's a huge undertaking. There's the day-to-day cleaning and tidying up, as well as major projects such as replacing furnaces, roofs, and windows, and then ongoing upgrades and repairs. I would be remiss if I did not point out at this point the scaffolding at the back of our cathedral is gone, but still remains tools over here. So we are still in the process of building and rebuilding our cathedral. And thank you to those who do it. Keeping our space beautiful and well-tended involves a lot of bricklaying. If asked, what are you doing? Those who devote themselves to this ministry might well answer that they are building a cathedral in which present and future congregants will be able to worship, learn, grow, and seek justice. They are tending to a physical space where people can hold fast to their dreams. Taking care of our technological needs involves other critical tasks, such as setting up mics, doing sound checks, staffing the tech desk during worship and programs. Those are the tasks, the bricklaying. But if you ask those who volunteer for this ministry, what are they doing? They might well answer they are ensuring a consistently high-quality experience for everyone. Taking care of each other during our times of blessing and in times of trouble requires a similar vision. Sending cards, making phone calls, checking in with people at church, all of these are expressions of authentic care. Those involved in this ministry know that their care lifts people, spirits, and deepens the sense of community to this religious community, the sense of connection. If asked, what are you doing? They may well answer, we are holding a vision of love and wholeness, letting people know they matter and they are not alone. What we do, what each of us in this religious community does, whether it's making coffee or teaching children and youth or greeting or being an usher or leading a study group or a book club, singing in the choir, doing community outreach, all of these are in service of a larger vision of love. May we exercise our imaginations, and may our imaginations captivate our hearts. May it be so, amen, and blessed be. So now, if you will join me in our closing hymn, it's number 1017 in the teal hymnal, Building a New Way.
Our chalice extinguishing words are from Michelle Collins. Though the flame is extinguished, the embers of imagination remain. Carry them forward, dream boldly, act with love, and kindle new fires in the world.
Unitarian Universalism imagines a more inclusive, a more just, and a more interconnected way of life. Our values guide us towards transforming ourselves and others as we strive for the dream of beloved community. As our worship concludes this morning, I invite you to consider how you would answer the question, what are you doing? Our worship has ended. Let our service begin. Please join us in the back library for coffee and treats.